I'm building a Firebird style guitar, and having got the body wings glued on in the last episode, this time I'm going to start work on the headstock veneer and the mother of pearl inlay that's going to go in it. Now normally for a black headstock veneer I'd use some ebony or potentially some fiberboard or something like that. However, on this build I'm not going to do that. I'm going to take some more of this wenge that we use for the fretboard and I'm going to make the headstock veneer out of that. This might be a massive mistake I'm about to make. This wood is very kind of grainy, it's very open grained and it's quite prone to chipping, and that really isn't a good idea when you're going to be doing some inlay work. However, I'm going to give it a shot. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work and we can find another solution, but I just thought it'd be an interesting experiment. So the first thing I need to do is just kind of find a bit of wood which I think will look nice. Mark it out on my template and then just get it to the bandsaw and rough cut it. Okay, so there's the very rough veneer cut out. Still so happy with this new bandsaw. It's making my life so much easier. But we're a little bit thick at that. This is 4 mil. Realistically, I want 2 mil. So while it's very consistent, it's consistently too big. So I need to kind of get rid of half of the thickness of this material. And for me, there's only really one way to do that. And that's to break out a nice sharp hand plane and then just shave it down that way. The problem I've got is, of course, this wenge is tough as old boots, and making the fretboard has taken the edge off all of the planes that I'd use for this job. So before we can do this, I need to do a bit of sharpening. And that probably wasn't even 5 minutes sharpening, but that's got a really nice razor sharp edge on it now. So we'll get this put back together and we can get on with the job. Well, that's the veneer cut, and it's a pretty consistent, just a touch over 2mm all over, so quite happy with that. Feels very, very delicate, but I'm sure once it's glued onto the headstock it'll be absolutely fine. So now we've got that out of the way, we need to find something to inlay into it. And for me, I think there's only one real option, and I'm hoping somewhere in here there is a nice bit of mother of pearl that will be just spot on for what we need. And this is just a little bit of mother of pearl that I had left over from the 335 build. However, that is the normal size of logo that I would do. And I think we can clearly see there that that's far too big for this piece. So I've printed off some more, and I think that is the ideal size for what we need. However, this does add a complication, because the smaller the logo is that I'm trying to cut out, the more difficult it will be to actually successfully cut out, especially these little connecting pieces between the letters. They become very, very fragile when you're kind of trying to cut something out at this scale. I've got some more pearl on order. It's Sunday today, it's due on Tuesday, so I can't really wait that long. So I'm going to have a go and cut out at this size. It'll be very, very good practice for me. But if I mess it up, I'll just have to hold on for a couple of days. Now, the first time I tried to do this, I had a massive failure, to be honest, and the logo broke into about 4 or 5 little pieces. The main cause of that was because the paper template that I was using actually popped off, and I had to reattach it. And it was the reattaching of the template in a slightly different position that caused the issue. What I learned from that was that if I soak this thoroughly in acetone beforehand to degrease it, the adhesive will stick a lot better, as is demonstrated by this bit of template there, which is absolutely still stuck solid. So that hasn't moved at all. So I've just got a little bit of acetone in this beaker. I'm going to pop that in for a few minutes. That will A, dissolve the glue that's already on there so I can get that old template off, and B, it will thoroughly degrease the mother of pearl so that the new template hopefully will stick as well as it needs to. Okay, so that's good and dry now. I've got my bench pin set up in the vise, and I've got my little jeweler's saw set up with an extremely fine blade. I bought this in a pack of 12 dozen blades. That's how many you get through. I've also got an additional piece on my bench pin with a very fine V cut out of it. So I'm going to be supporting this workpiece as much as possible. And I've got my little block of wax to lubricate the blade with, and my big magnifiers, because there is absolutely no way, even with my glasses, that I can see detail like this. I'm going to start by piercing the 2 O's, and that will mean I need to drill a very fine hole through them, feed the blade of the saw through, and then just cut those out. I'm doing it that way because I've still got the rest of the mother of pearl supporting everything, and just making that a little bit easier to do. And to do the piercing, I'm just going to use a 1.5mm drill bit. Okay, so we're probably about halfway around that bottom edge now, cutting it out. Getting through plenty of blades, not bothered about that to be honest. As long as we can get this logo out in one piece, that's all I really care about. So I'm going to carry on cutting this, but it's going to take me hours to get this cut out and we're running out of time on this video already. So I'm going to leave it here for this episode. I'll be back very shortly when we can get the rest of this cut out and get it inlaid into that veneer that we prepared earlier. But until then, as always, like if you've liked, subscribe if you haven't already done so, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.